The Chinese disregarded perspective and shadows, in contrast to the Western artists. Okay, before getting into the reasons, I would like to clarify a few things. Some might ask, why did you choose to discuss the differences between Chinese and Western art of painting? Why not explore the art of other civilizations such as Indian, Persian, or Arab traditions and their approach of paintings? While I'm sure that these cultures also have very rich and fascinating stories behind their art. However, I've chosen to focus on perspective and shadow elements that were largely disregarded in Chinese art but became central in the Western paintings. And there are two main reasons for this choice. First, I personally paint in a realist style, oil painting, which follows the Western artistic tradition. Second, I have a deep interest in sinology. And since art is a vital part of any culture, I've studied Chinese painting alongside its poetry and their culture expressions. Okay, I would like to see your comments on the video and get some knowledge from you. And if you like it, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Again, let's put it one more time. The Chinese disregarded perspective and shadows in contrast to Western artists. And that was for the following reasons. Number one, art is not imitation of reality. In Europe, perspective and shadows emerged to give a sense of depth and realism. In traditional Chinese painting, especially with ink and brush, the goal was not to depict the world as the eye sees it, but to express senses and spirit. Number two, philosophical influences. Taoism, Confucianism, and Buddhism emphasize harmony with the nature rather than control over it. Therefore, Chinese artists did not attempt to confine a sense within rigid geometric perspective, but left the painting open as if it were an extension of the world itself. Number three, absence of shadows equals purity of idea. In other traditions, shadows give weight and form. In Chinese painting, shadows are seen as a distraction from line and spaces. Artists preferred clean lines and empty spaces because they convey a sense of spiritual depth more than visual depth. Number four, multiple perspectives instead of a single viewpoint. The West relied on one-point perspective, a horizon line and vanishing point. Chinese artists invented a shifting perspective. When looking at a scene, you might see mountains from one angle, river from another, and house from a third, as if you were moving through the scene rather than viewing it from a fixed point. Number five, painting as a poetic art. A Chinese painting is often accompanied with a poem or elegant calligraphy. The purpose is not merely to depict a play, but to create a philosophical and emotional experience. Therefore, Chinese artists ignored perspective and shadows, as these would constrain emotions with mathematical rules. Sure, Chinese did not neglect perspective and shadows, rather than they deliberately excluded them because their art was not a mimicry of a reality, but a mental, spiritual journey reflecting humanity's relationship with the nature.